Bill Jin King once said, sportsmen keep playing till they get it right. Yes, he ranks number one in Goa under 17 age category.
Playing squash for the past 6 to 7 years. And first of all, I'm the Goa number one. I won the
Welcome viewers to your very own channel VoiceUpNow. Bill Jin King once said, sportsmen keep playing till they get it right. Yes, and we have one such sportsperson with us who is taking every step towards the right direction. We have somebody who has been playing squash right from the age of 9. He has been playing squash for last 7 years. He ranks number 1 in Goa under 17 age category and number 24 at All India ranking. We welcome Abdus Shah from Dabulam. Welcome Samad to our show. So Samad, tell us now, as a squash player, according to you, if I ask you to define squash, can you say something about it?
squash. Well, particularly it depends on how much effort you put. I mean, it's a lot of hard work, and of course you have to be consistent with it, because I know that squash is such a game that if you train for weeks and weeks, and say if you take 1 week off, I mean, you will forget half of it. So exactly what I'm trying to say is consistency is the key. And also like my trainer, what he used to say is like discipline is extremely important in squash, because what you see is like 20% of the game, when the rest 80% is, you see, the fitness, the diet, the sleeping schedule. Because if you've got a really bad rest time and you are sleeping for about 4 hours, you cannot perform and give your best at the court the next day. So it's really difficult, and it depends on how much effort you put, how much consistent and how disciplined you are, and how obsessed you are with the sport. Because my trainer always used to say, Rahman sir, he used to say that
Obsession?
my trainer used to say that obsession beats talent. So if you're obsessed with the game, there is no one who can beat you. So you have to work, and you have to put extra hard work than others who your opponents are. And that's how...
How many hours you give every day?
For me, I have a session in the morning for at least 2.5 hours. Then in the evening, I have 2.5 hours. Then apart from that, I have my fitness, and I have to do swimming for the stamina and for the pace. And that's at least like 6 to 7 hours a day of squash continuously every day.
Our viewers are very curious to know about your achievements. So please tell us what your achievements are so far.
Thank you so much. So I've been playing squash for the past 6 to 7 years. And yes, I've had quite a few achievements. But the biggest achievements, I think, are the first is I've been the Goa state champion for the past 3 years, for the past 3 consecutive years. And also one of the biggest achievements I think I have had in squash so far is that I got to play with for my state, to represent my state at the national level in the national games which were held in 2023 here at Goa. So I was the youngest player to represent my state in the open men's category. So that was really, really nice, and a nice achievement for me, I think. And also in 2022, I placed 4th all over India in the Rajasthan Squash Classic, which was held in Rajasthan. And yes, I think these 3 were the biggest achievements I've had in squash. So
that was very impressive. Now, Samad, talking about squash, it so happens that people feel it is not a very common sport, not a very popular sport. So how you got into squash? What was your journey? Like, how you ended up in squash?
So yes, squash is not a very popular sport in Goa. And yes, I actually used to play football when I was young. But then I wanted to concentrate more on an individual sport. So I guess that's how I got into squash. And of course, yes, it's the as speaking for the journey of how it's been. So in Goa, there weren't many players to play with. When I started, there was only one court in Chikalim, and which was not, that court was not very good. But yeah, that's how I started with no players. But I had a really great coach with me, Mr. Rahman Hubli. And yes, in Goa it was a bit difficult, but of course when I thought of, I wanted to go professional in the sport. So yeah, that's what it's going on.
Samant is not just only an sports person, he is also exceptionally good in academics. Presently, he has enrolled in standard 11th in Naval Children's School for the science stream. So, Samant, how do you keep a balance between sports and academics? What are the challenges you face?
Okay, so it's a bit difficult, but of course, if you prioritize your academics and also your sports, you can balance both of those. So it was last year when I was in my 10th standard answering my boards, and also it happened to be I was selected for the Goa national team in the open men's category. So it was a bit difficult for me to keep academics and sports, balanced. But of course, if you prioritize and if you make time for each, like at that time, I was giving squash about 8 to 10 hours a day, my practice, my fitness, and even rest included. So, of course, if like I had to cope up my studies in the last February to January, these months. So it was a bit difficult. But of course, if you balance it out, if you make time for each thing, then it will work out.
Your journey talks a lot silently about the family support. And I believe that is very important in every child's life. So, yes, was there a good support, motivation from your family, and who actually was keeping up with everything? Like, who was working behind the curtains for you?
Okay, so of course, my family had a major role in supporting me and also encouraging me into pushing for the sport. And first of all, I would like to say that the biggest role played was by my father. He encouraged me. He was the one who put me into squash, who made me start squash, and also, of course, he was the main reason I pursued squash, and I'm thinking of making it as a career for myself. And of course, he helped me in my training, my traveling to continuously to Bombay, to Bangalore, everywhere. He supported me in my diet, my rest, and everything. Of course, my mom, she supported me in various things, like encouraging me. Like whenever I was down, she always supported me. And of course, I would like to give credit to all my relatives, my uncle, my auntie in Bombay. They used to support me, motivate me whenever I was going for any tournaments. And of course, yeah, everyone has a hand in where I am today, and like God willingly where I will be tomorrow. I think my whole family plays a very big role for me in it.
Talking about your career, what are your future plans now?
Well, my future plans are mostly, yes, I want to continue squash in my future. Of course, I'm thinking of making it as a career for me. And yes, my main aim earlier was to play for my state, Goa, which I am now, thankfully. And now my aim is to play for my country, and my next aim is to represent it in the 2028 Olympics in LA.
Samat, we would also like to know about your schooling, how your teachers and friends have helped you, and which schools you come from, like which institutions you have taken your studies.
St. Joseph was when I started my main squash, when I started playing it professionally. So, of course, they were very helpful. They would allow me leaves like continuously for 1 or 2 weeks. And also, they would allow me to come late to school because I had practice in the morning also and in the evening. And they were really supportive in the way of academics. They would be lenient towards all the homework, assignment, exams. If I want to give a retest, if I was not available to give the exam when it was due. So yes, all the principal, the teacher, they were really helpful towards me. And also now in 11th now, which I have transferred to the Navy Children's School. All the teachers, the principal specifically, they are all very helpful. They allow me leaves. If I want to come late after practice, they are really lenient towards it. And yes, they have also played a major role in my squash profession.
Yes, that is very important. Very, very important as a student. You need a lot of support, especially when comes to your test and exams and assignments. We do understand that. One thing we would like to know, Samad, it has been 7 years since you have been playing squash. Do you see a difference in infrastructure? Because that is very, very, very important in any sport. So do you see that has been changes? What do you want to say about the infrastructure that our state has got for squash?
Well, it has, firstly, it has improved a lot, because when I started, there was only one court in Chikalim and not many players to play with. When I started, it was only me and a couple of beginners. But of course, I've seen a lot of changes recently, especially after the national games. There are 4 courts which were built newly, really, really nice courts. And I see that there are many people trying to go for squash. I mean, these courts, they are like mostly always full. So that's a really nice thing to see, that more and more people are taking up squash, and and many people in Goa, they are getting to know what squash is, because when I started, no one even knew what this game was. So of course, this has advanced a lot, and also new coaches are starting to come to Goa to train, which is a very needful thing to for a student. A good coach and a good place to train is a very it's what do you call?
It's a very significant development, I
Yeah,
believe.
yes.
Yeah, in the field of sports
Yes.
for people in Goa. Any advice you would like to give our viewers, okay, or the upcoming youth?
Yeah, surely. So, of course, I would like to encourage everyone and anyone to actually take up squash, not squash specifically, but any sport, to try and just not for profession, but of course for fitness, because it's a great game. I want to encourage all of you to try and start squash, and yeah, that's.
Samad, we heard you're practicing these days for a tournament. So can you tell something about that?
Yeah, sure. So I'm actually on October 19th, I'm traveling to Calcutta for the sub-junior nationals, which is happening all India level, and I will be representing Goa or Goa state for the tournament. So yes, I'm working hard to get achievements in this tournament. So yes, wish me luck. Thank you.
With the story of Samad, we come to know that hard work and sheer obsession is the key to success. Behind the curtains, what we have seen is family support, school support, relatives and friends. They also play a very major role. So we hope that every child gets this kind of support from everybody around them, which helps in their all-round personality development, which becomes their strength. Thank you.